Live Healthy is brought to you by Kirk Supermarket and Pharmacy.
How do you know which frozen dinners are healthy or healthy sounding? Andrea is going to shed some light once again.
On frozen dinners.
Frozen dinners.
Yeah. Now, believe me, I am all for people getting in their own kitchens and cooking up their own homemade foods. That's what we're actually really advocating. But I do know that there are busy people out there that will rely on a frozen entree a few times a week because they are just too busy or they just haven't gotten organized enough to really get that together. So I wanted to show people how they should be choosing some of these meals, because a lot of them really judge it on the cover alone and they don't look behind at the nutrition facts, which is going to tell you the whole story.
I'm actually guilty.
Right? Okay. Well, Delisa, there are three things that I want people to look at on the nutrition facts label.
Okay.
The first is saturated fat.
Okay.
So when we look behind one of these labels, what I want people to make certain of is that they're looking at saturated fat. And on this is 1.5 grams. You don't want it to be any higher than 4 grams of saturated fat. Okay, so this is the bad type of fat that raises LDL, or bad cholesterol. We really want to keep this low on a frozen entree, okay? So that's number one. The next thing we want to look at is sodium.
Definitely.
Right? So this is where a lot of the brands in the freezer section get their bad rap, because a lot of them have to be preserved. So we add sodium. Now on this particular one, this has 590 milligrams. On a frozen entree, you should be looking at nothing higher than 700 milligrams.
Okay, so that's good.
That is good. This follows the rule right there. Now, to put this in perspective, most of us, between the ages of 19 and 50 that are healthy, we really don't need any more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. So this is almost half our day's worth. So if we're eating a frozen entree for one of our meals, we really want to keep the sodium light all around for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay.
I have to say, I come in, I've been on, I'm always on a diet, really.
Okay.
And I'll say, you know what, I need this because I'm working out and I don't have time, like you said, to cook.
Right.
And this is just easier.
Right.
And
right.
it looks like it's portion controlled.
It is portion controlled. You're right. You're right. So what you want to make certain of when you look at this now is that you're not exceeding a certain amount of food, but then what some people also say is, well, these are really too small as well, right?
Yeah, you're so hungry.
Right. So I'm going to tell you how to fortify a meal, because you really need to do that sometimes, especially for active individuals out there. But the third thing you want to make certain of is that your frozen entree contains vegetables. So fiber is the last thing you want to make certain of. Fiber is going to tell you whether that product has some beans in it, whether it has vegetables in it. Now this is even though we're looking at a particular line here, this particular one I'm not too keen on because I don't even see a vegetable on the packaging, right?
I wouldn't pick that up because it has macaroni and it has cheese and it's loaded.
Right, but as you say, it is portioned. But yes, this is failing my rule of fiber because we don't have at least 4 grams of fiber on this packaging because there is no whole grain and there is no vegetable. So how do we fortify a frozen entree?
Okay, how do we do that?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna add some vegetables with the meal. You're gonna get no more than about only 1 serving of vegetables, which is only a half a cup. This is about a half a cup of broccoli.
Okay.
You're not going to get more than that on a frozen entree.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can steam your own, or you can have your own salad on this side. Maybe even at the end of the meal, eat a piece of fruit, or drink a glass of milk with the meal, or have a yogurt at the end of it. Okay, so this really rounds out your meal. So we're getting some calcium, we're getting a bit more fiber, more nutrition, more fill from the fiber.
Okay.
And that's how we're going to balance our frozen entrees.
Okay. Now, what about someone like me, where I have my lean cuisine or my frozen dinner.
Right.
And what I'll do is I'll chug down my entire bottle of water.
Right.
And am I retaining or not? Retaining water or because of the sodium?
Well, it depends on how you feel. I mean, initially we all retain a little bit of water before we excrete it, and that sometimes that could you'll find that you get rid of it the next morning. But drink a glass of water maybe before that meal, maybe about 20 minutes before. It'll fill you up a little bit, and that will help also make this more of an appropriate size for the belly for you.
All right. Okay. All right. Any last words for the viewers? Lean cuisine or any other?
Anyone's out there, just make sure you're getting your vegetables in there. Remember, no more than 4 grams saturated fat, no more than 700 milligrams of sodium, and 4 grams of fiber or higher on a meal.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
much.
Great.
Thank you very much. All right, don't forget you can tune in every Thursday, Live Healthy, right here on Daybreak with Andrea Hill. Don't go away. There's more Daybreak coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Live Healthy is brought to you by Kirk Supermarket and Pharmacy.